championship so close you can taste it.
Oliver Askew has won the Freedom 100.
Side by side. And your new champion, Christian Rasmussen. Nice pace coming out of 14 for Reese Gold, the rookie out of Miami, Florida. 2 years in USF 2000. A race winner last year as well. Made the move up with Juncos Racing, who swept the action last year here. They'll work their way in. Aaron Likens, our official starter, up on the stand. We're looking for the green flag, but it'll be up to Reese Gold. Nice slow start coming into the punch-off zone, trying to stack everybody up, and he's at it. Green, 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 and a good jump for Reese Gold, heading down into turn number 1.
Yeah, here's money time. Turn number 1. Let's see how it shakes out.
Hold your breath. They'll go 4 wide, maybe 5 wide. Solid run, little break up lock there for the outside. And I think a little bit of potential trouble. I think Braden Eves going to the lead. Eves in the exclusive Autosport does the over-under, a little break lock up on the outside, but I think that Reese Gold potentially, Alan, had to overslow it a little bit.
Had to slow down hard, and Eves, while on the outside of turn 1, had the inside through turn 2 and took it to get into the lead and get the early advantage in this race as they come down the infield straight for the first time. Here, turn number 7, again, big passing opportunity, and they fan out 2 wide.
One of the things I love about this racetrack, the back-to-back passing.
Oh, contact, middle of the pack.
It's like 2, 3 drivers involved, 1 off into the grass. Everyone else able to continue aggressive moving down the inside at turn number 7. That driver coming back up onto the racetrack. That is one of the Juncos cars. Could be the 22 of Manuel Suleiman, but we'll see when they come back around. But those back-to-back opportunities, of course, into turn 1, then into turn number 7. You can pass and repass lap after lap.
So this opening lap, as promised, shuffling things up, stirring the drink, if you will, and it is going to be Braden Eves who comes out with the advantage, and he stretches about 4 car lengths here as they come to the line to complete lap number 1 of 25.
2 drivers into pit lane already with the damage from the incident over in turn 7. We'll update you on those drivers who are coming in. Eves with the lead. Rasmussen goes to 2nd, Gold 3rd, and Ahmed now up into the 4th spot. Looks like Wyatt Prokachik and Hunter McElroy involved as well over in turn number 7. They're coming into pit lane. Further battling back in the field there, Petrov and Jacob Abel, and a long, excruciating run down pit lane for both McElroy and Prokachik, both with front wing damage.
Yeah, heartbreaking start for them. They'll fall back as the field is already coming through turn 6 to that long backstretch, setting up for that passing zone that Alan was talking about in turn 7. But single file they go in turn 7.
You got the last 2 USF 2000 champions running 1 and 2. Eves winning the title in 2019. Rasmussen last year with Jay Howard Driver Development in 2020. These guys, I think, are going to be maybe 2 rivals over the next number of years, Alan. They both tremendous racers. Of course, Eves from New Albany, Ohio, the same hometown as Graham Rahal. Here's the restart. Here's the start, rather, in turn number 7. Like a bit of a lock up there. Artem Petrov got hit behind. Yeah, it looks like, I think, a lockup potentially up front for Kiffin Simpson. And then that put Manuel Suleiman, I think, into the back of Artem Petrov.
That's the accordion effect there under braking. It's about, what's that the old saying about the rule of 5? The 5th car in line is the one that gets it worse?
Probably correct. Artem Petrov showed very good speed in testing and actually topped the practice session as well, but doesn't get the luck here early. Petrov currently running in the 8th spot, but I think potentially making a move by Jacob Abel for 7th at the end of the straightaway. But Braden Eves out front, and this is not a guy, Alan, you want to give the lead to, man, because he's the kind of guy that will just keep pulling away.
He's a front runner. He knows how to hold the lead. He knows how to manage the gap. Now, Rob, on these cars, where's the sweet spot down the straightaways like this where you begin to feel the slipstream, where you begin that 2nd place car to say, okay, now I've got something going?
I think really lately, about 5 cars back, you get 3 and you start really getting that pull. The balance of it is the draft allows you to close, but I mean, we talk a lot about this in open wheel cars. The minute you lose the air off the front wing, you get that aero wash. Yeah. This track doesn't have a lot of big, wide sweepers like a Barber Motorsports Park, where through a sweeper, you start to lose the front end. You get that push in mid-corner. Here, with those long straightaways, the point and shoot gives guys an opportunity to use the slipstream more for a passing opportunity.
Let's see if Rasmussen is able to find a way to get close enough to have a shot, but Eves able to protect that about 5-car length advantage here as they come down to complete lap number 3 of 25.
And I just keep thinking about a year ago when we saw him upside down, the injuries, and here he is back leading at a track where I spent so much time trying to recuperate and recover from it. Here he is back after it, leading the field. New fast lap, Prix Gold, 1 minute, 21.7 seconds. Fast lap so far.
Bonus points for fast laps. You're always trying to get that when in terms of the long championship run. And the incident happened over in turn 11. Came through the corner, got the car to set on the left side, and a suspension failure rolled the tire underneath and up and over he went. And of course, happy to see him the next day, later on that day, actually live tweeting people and talking. But it was a pretty hard wreck. To come back here, I wonder what it would be like that first session.
Oh my God.
That's the battle between Prix Gold and Rasmussen.
Second place is up under contest as they work their way back around toward turns 11 and 12.
Did he get him? Doesn't look like it.
Great complex of corners coming through there. Turns number 7, 8, and 9. You've got to get late apex, right? If you don't get turn 7 right, you're always chasing it for the rest of that complex.
And the big trick is, okay, being on the left, driver's left might be the advantage in this corner, but 2 seconds later, it's a disadvantage. That's I think, what
that's a really
Gold
good
found
point.
himself in right there, trying to get back toward the front.
I said this in the USF 2000 call. I had a chance to do the track walk with Jay Howard and his team, and that 7, 8, 9, 10 complex, everything he said was whatever you do in 7, 8, 9, just make sure you're ready to go through turn number 10, because that starts that big long run all the way over to turn 12. If you don't do that, you're going to get potentially passed in 12. You've got to get yourself to the left side of the track to be on power early in turn number 10.
Heavy braking in turn 1. Got a car off track. Missed the turn.
That's Jacob Abel, I believe, in the number 51, who just had to go to the escape route out of turn number 1. He was able to get through there cleanly and I think he lost probably 2 or 3 spots. Saw a good battle between Anam Ahmed and Kiffin Simpson as well. That's for 4th position. He was able to get by. Now you can see Ahmed's got that clean room now in 4th. There's 5th Kiffin Simpson, followed by James Rowe and Artem Petrov. Petrov trying to see if he can't rebound after that incident in turn number 7 where he got tagged from behind. It seemed like a center punch, so not on one of the wheels where you think potentially could have had some damage to suspension, but just right on the rear attenuator.
And so now that Ahmed got through, you can see he's clearly got some pace, and he's trying to close in on Gold for 3rd place. Gold trying to recover from that opening laps shuffle from pole position back into the number 3 spot.
Well, a young driver like that too, right? You got to get your head back mentally. You started on the pole. Hey, if I'm going to win this race. Then when you have the issue and you fall back, then you've got to press that reset button and try to come back forward. I think actually Kiffin Simpson potentially able to get by Anam Ahmed. Indeed, Ahmed's in the 5th spot now. Simpson was able to get by. Hunter McElroy in the 18, right in the middle there. He runs P4 on the racetrack, but he's a lap down in the 12th position. Came back out on the racing circuit. Hopefully he won't get in the way of either Simpson or Ahmed if they try to get by. But Kiffin Simpson able to get that spot back, so a good fight between those 2 drivers. Nonetheless, now almost a full second lead for Braden Eves.
Yeah, he's rolling right now. 1.7 seconds separating the top 3 right now. So just under 2 seconds for the top 3 as they cruise around. 5 laps completed. We're going 25 in this race.
Interesting for these drivers, 5 sessions on the racetrack, as we had 1 practice, 1 qualifying, and then 3 races. So the second fastest lap of qualifying, you're able to use that for race 2 and race 3, or the fastest lap from the previous race, whichever is better. But only 3 sets of tires for 5 sessions, right? So you never know who went 2 sets of tires potentially in qualifying, what's going to happen in race 3, who may have saved a set of fresh tires, who's going to go out on some used tires for a race. That's kind of part of the strategy of the 3 races.
Three sets of tires.
Yeah, for 5 sessions.
Wow, that becomes quite a game for everybody here, trying to figure it out. Here he comes again, Eves. 9/10 of a second still the lead.
Gold had a good run there on Rasmussen for 2nd. Not going to be close enough to make a bid there, but a good closing in run, starting to get to that zone.
Yeah, 0.4 of a second faster, Alan, than the Gold was in Rasmussen. So he's reeling them back in. But again, tough part of this racetrack, getting there and then passing is 2 different things. Now, granted, with the 2 long straightaways, you get the chance to make the move. Further back, I think it's Colin Kaminsky going at it as well here with Jacob Abel and Jack William Miller. We'll watch those guys fight it out. Actually, might be Manuel Suleiman in there as well. Yeah, that's Abel now running in 10th, Suleiman in 11th. Kaminsky, I think, potentially able to get by as well. So I like this battle for second because I like the fact that Reese Gold's settling back in. We're really only 6 laps into what is a 25-lapper, so a long way to go still. Bide your time, see how the car starts to develop, because one of the things we didn't mention was, of course, they qualified this morning at 8 a.m. As you guys know, you had to buy a jacket. It was cold.
I did.
Alan had to relayer. It was cold when we got here. They had not felt anything like that kind of coolness. Significantly warmer, plus IndyCar went out for that session, laid a bunch of rubber down. This track is totally different than it was yesterday.
Youngsters figuring it out right now. As we mentioned, Gold, the 16-year-old, running in third. Eve still first, Rasmussen second. 1.3 was the lead last time by. And the lead is about the same, 1.3. Gold is 1.8 seconds back in third.
Looking at some of the lap times, Rasmussen running about 0.2 of a second quicker than Eves on that last spin around, but he still has that deficit to try and make up. And again, catching is one thing, finding a way to overtake is another, and finding a way to not just overtake but then stay out front is a third thing altogether.
That's exactly it. Braden Eves, so as I said, you look at some of the drivers, right, when you're kind of detailing what you expect them to do. You look back at what he's been able to do when he won that championship in USF 2000. He knows how to win races. He knows how to lead races. He's not a driver who moved up maybe a couple of top 5 finishes in the championship. I'll move up the next year. It's my move to move up. He's won races before, won championships. He knows how to lead races, and he knows how to conserve a car over a long distance as well.
Hey, fans, a quick reminder, you can get a COVID-19 vaccination shot right here at the Speedway. It takes less than 30 minutes, and you get your shot free from the IU Health vaccination stations located at gates 1, 6, and 9. You can get a COVID shot right here, gates 1, 6, and 9. Takes about 20 minutes. It's fast and easy.
And the key to everything we're able to do here, welcoming fans back to the Speedway and getting back to what we all love. So 8 laps complete of 25, 17 to go. And Braden Eves continuing to try and manage the gap, and that second to third place continuing to tighten up a little bit as Rasmussen holds off Gold, but Gold starting to get closer and closer, even if it appears like, okay, another 3 feet that lap, but that's 3 feet closer.
And that's it. Yeah, 3 feet a lap, and you eventually end up getting there. Rasmussen actually about 2 or 3/10 of a second quicker than Braden Eves last time by. You asked earlier, Alan, about how close you need to be for the draft. He was that close at that point. He's a full second back, but you get to within 8/10, 6/10. That's when it starts happening.
That's kind of the gap you can get in there and start thinking about it.
I think so. Again, for Rasmussen, the problem right now is he's got Gold breathing down his neck, so he can't think about moving just forward and trying to catch Braden Eves. He's also considering what I have to do to keep my spot here, P2. A little further back, Kiffin Simpson all by himself now in that 4th position. You'll see him coming into the end of the screen here, followed by Anam Ahmed. Still, it would be the best finish for Anam, who joined the program earlier this year, and great to have him with us again, a former FIA F3 driver, British F3 champion, top world level, international world level go-kart racer in his days as well. But to have him over here now being part of the road to Indy, we're thrilled that he's in the paddock.
Most of these drivers have started that way, right? They'll come up through the go-kart ranks, and this is where they want to be and try to take the next step.
Exactly that. You know, you run at your club level first, you move to regional level kart racing, then you start running nationally, and there's a lot of tremendous racers running in the national circuits, the different series we have around the country here. Also, a number of drivers run internationally in the FIA World Championships, European Championships, get them to come up to the series as well. And like I say that, they may be raw rookies to these particular race cars, but the racecraft that they developed since they were 6 or 7 years of age is staggering.
And the experience they gain here showing itself when you look at the number of drivers, for example, that'll be in our GMR Grand Prix tomorrow that have come through this Road to Indy ladder, and 1 race is on the way.
We're super proud of the guys that have come up here. I talked about the fact, we have a lot of obviously domestic drivers, national drivers that come from America, Canada, whatever it may be, to run in the program. But it's when we have all the international drivers coming over as well, they see the scholarship program. They see this defined ladder to get to the IndyCar series, and they see the success that the drivers have had in the IndyCar program as well. And that, for us, that's, I think, something we take a lot of pride in. Rinus VeeKay, of course, the minute we came over, we debuted here at the Speedway. We debuted the new USF 17 back in 2016. He was here. I'm racing this series, and it was 3 years. Just like Oliver Askew, 4 years through, he went from karting to the NTT IndyCar Series. Rinus is just a tremendous
Oh, what a great story and a fun guy to be around and an amazing racer. So Rinus VeeKay, We'll watch him battle tomorrow. And, of course, you got Eves, Rasmussen, and Gold. 1, 2, 3, 10 laps completed. Going 25 for the Indy Pro 2000 Grand Prix.
Not quite the wheel-to-wheel action we saw in USF 2000. These drivers really putting it down. There's a good fight further back there. Just came through the screen. It looks to me like, yeah, Manuel Suleiman and Jacob Abel for 10th and 11th.
Yeah, they've been back there toward the end of the pack, but they've swapped that spot, I think, 3 times in the last 1 lap around.
I'm surprised to see both those drivers deeper in the field, but again, the quality of our field this year, you could be 8th or 9th one weekend and be on the podium the next weekend. That's the key, because Suleiman, 2 times a winner last year. He's running for Juncos Racing, which won the championship last season with Stingray Robb, and they've won many, many races over the last number of years. They've had a lot of really good drivers. Renus Vikabian won. He won the championship with them back in 2018, I believe.
And look at Miller making a move as well. Jack William Miller, rookie from Westfield, Indiana, making a move. One of his sponsors is Adam Vinatieri's helping along with this team, which is kind of fun to see with his Jack Miller, the former Indy racer. Indy Dental Group. Sponsors on that car.
Rob, you mentioned he had some problems earlier today, so wasn't able to qualify, but missed some of that trouble in front of him in the first couple of laps over in turn 7.
Some bad luck and some good luck, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, he had some trouble in the qualifying session. Got too deep into the braking zone, then tried to work his way through in turn 1, work his way through the escape road, and actually ripped the front wing off. They were able to get it fixed, but he just didn't have the speed. Just didn't have it there. Ended up qualifying in the 13th spot, but he has worked his way back up into 7th here. Got by a couple of cars and putting down pretty good lap times. His best lap time, a 1:22.046, almost as quick as your leader, Braden Eves.
Kind of fun to see a local guy doing well.
Yeah. Jack was on the podium here last year. I believe his first podium in USF 2000. They made the move to bring him into Indy Pro 2000 this year, a single car team. I'm sure he'd love to have a second car, because I think that extra data would help Jack William. But he's been working a lot physically as well outside the car with Gabby Chavez. They've been doing some triathlons and doing a lot of running, and of course working at Pit Fit as well. So
kind of like us. Alan and I were out working out last night, getting ready for the big weekend.
As I can see it. I can see the progress.
Yep. COVID workouts.
Got to do what you can.
Braden Eves holding that 1 second lead now, and it's been really static here for a majority of the last 5-6 laps. Rasmussen putting good lap times in. Maybe a 10th quicker here and there, Alan, but nothing really to close right back up on him. That gap's been, now it's down to 0.9 of a second.
And just thinking back to some points you touched on earlier, the things you don't know, who's managing tires at the moment?
Yeah.
If you're the race leader and you have a tire advantage to start the race. I mean, everybody's looked at everybody else before the green flag, right? What do you got on that car?
That's it.
I mean, you're understanding that. Hopefully, you hope the young driver is understanding that as he's running his race and determining his pace.
Well, that's it, right? Because a 1 second win is exactly the same as a 10-second win.
Yep.
There's no difference when it comes to points. So the key is get that gap that's a manageable gap, and then you start taking care of your tires. If it drops down to maybe 0.8 of a second, you stretch it back out to 1.2. And really good drivers can do that. They can just change a little bit, maybe not brake so early, maybe roll a little less corner speed through whatever it may be, just to be able to take care of the tires. And sometimes the tires get overused a little bit. You cool them back down a bit, they come back to life. So I think right now, Braden Eves is showing what made him a champion in USF 2000 by really managing the lead right now.
Fellas, we're almost to the halfway point here. This will be lap 13 at 25, and Eves having an easy go of it right now. He's been dominating. He's led 12 laps, soon to be 13.
Beginning to see a race between teammates start to shape up for third place between Gold and Simpson. Simpson starting to chip into that gap a little bit.
Yeah, indeed. A couple seconds a lap, or a couple tenths of a second rather a lap, and he's finding himself right there less than a half a second behind. And that's not really going to help. I think, obviously, the driver running in P3, Reese Gold, he wants to stay focused. He wants to stay, I want to focus forward. You may be teammates, and Alan, you've called so many races. Drivers want to win races, but maybe more so, they want to beat everybody else on their team, right? That's the one thing. Even if I don't win, as long as I'm the top guy on my team.
It's always the thing. If you're the team owner in measuring, you're both in equal equipment, prepared the same way. Who came out on top? It's the quickest way for a driver to measure is how did he run within his own team.
And then they get into the debate about who has the best equipment afterwards,
yeah,
right?
That's right. but you're right. That's what you want to do first. Second, well, I say first you want to win the race, but but shy of that, certainly you want to be tops in your team, and it is important in measuring up.
And right there looked to be like Reese Gold stepped it back up, or maybe Kiffin had a little bit of a mistake because he's dropped back probably 7 or 8 car lengths now, even more further back. But I'll give it up for Kiffin Simpson. Reese Gold has 2 years in USF 2000. He's run all these racetracks. He's been to St. Petersburg, Barber, here at IMS. Kiffin Simpson's brand new, right out of junior karting. You know, ran a lot of the top level karting programs. He's doing 2 different Formula Car series this year. Great to have him here with us in Indy Pro 2000. Didn't do USF 2000. So what he's able to show here now running P4 to me is unbelievably impressive.
And it's also impressive he came from the Cayman Islands to get into the sport, you know, that you don't think about race car drivers from the Cayman Islands.
Well, if you're a race fan, you can get the job done. That's it.
That's exactly right.
I love when I talk to, one of the questions I always talk to these kids, whether it's a Q&A trackside or podcast, I ask, where was the spark? You know, how did it happen?
Exactly. The backstories are always fascinating, aren't they?
Sitting with dad watching IndyCar or whatever it may be, or, you know, we always watched Indy 500, or some of them just, you know, stumble upon an indoor kart track somewhere at somebody's birthday party and found out they loved it, and it's become their lives.
The battle continues. Yeah, we're getting down to 10 laps to go here next time by.
Just watch it farther back. It looks like 5th and 6th and 7th, 5th and 6th. That might be a lap car in there. Let me check that one.
That's a possibility. Hunter McElroy was in there, I think, in the number 18. Remember, he slotted in there. I'll come by the yard of bricks again here to put lap number 14 in the books. We're not done at all yet with that battle now for 3rd and 4th between the 2 Juncos cars. Look at this. Kiffin Simpson has a look to the inside, as Alan had pointed out. Those are the 2 drivers for Juncos Racing. Christian Rasmussen's got the lead down to less than 9/10 of a second as well.
I just was going to bring that up. Look at that. He's closing the gap a little bit here.
It's interesting, though. He's doing that when he's catching the slipstream on the straightaways. But when they get to the corners, Eve seems to get through this section of the Speedway and the other end between turn 7 and when they come back out onto the main straightaway just a little bit quicker and reestablish that gap.
Agreed. Yeah, and it's that long run down the straightaway where he's capitalizing completely on the draft. Big fight now here for the 3rd and 4th spot, and there's 5th and 6th together as well.
That's good stuff. Love it.
Actually, no, that's not 5th and 6th, but that's the lap car. Exactly right. We'll pick that up. And Jack William Miller just brought the number 40 Miller Vinatieri Motorsports machine into pit lane. The rough day that he has is continuing. He'll look forward to getting back at it again tomorrow.
That's too bad. He climbed up to 7, so we wish him the best, and to Jack Miller and Vinatieri, better days ahead with that race team.
Had gained the most positions on track during the race to this point, but giving all that up on the pit lane now.
All right, let's see what the lead is this time, you guys. It was 0.8 of a second last time. Here comes your race leader, Eves, across the stripe. And this time by... Yeah, he picked up a little bit.
Wow.
0.8 to a second now. You mentioned, Alan, he's just kind of pulling away there when he gets to the back part of the course.
And the same is going on in the race for 3rd place. It looks like that Simpson closes on Gold on the long straightaways, but in the twisty parts of the track, Gold is able to reestablish that gap and keep Simpson just far enough behind him that he can't make an attempt at a pass.
And just a little bit of that aero wash when you're that close coming through some of these corners where maybe you're just you're late to the throttle by a fraction of a second. He's on it a little more. He's got that front wing planted, got the car standing on the nose, and he's able to make that turn in. Yeah, top 4 drivers only separated by 2.6 seconds now. Last time by, Braden Eves, though, flawless up front as has been so far. Been some really good racing further back in the pack. I'm just loving this battle between Gold and Simpson. I want to see how it plays out because we'll see if Simpson, he's young, he wants to get on the podium. He hasn't done that yet this year. You're racing against your teammate. Won't take much for a big dive bomb move down the inside of turn 1.
Yeah, but it is against your teammate, and what are the instructions of the owner? Just race hard, just don't wreck each other.
Bring the equipment home.
Don't wreck each other.
I'm sure a lot of these guys get put into the engineering room and get read the riot act, right? Whatever you do, do not wreck each other.
You know it.
Ricardo Juncos, of course, really one of the legendary names on the road to Indy. Of course, that amazing story for the Indianapolis 500 with Kyle Kaiser able to qualify and bump out Fernando Alonso.
What a day that was.
Their shop just miles from, what, a mile and a half from here? Not even a mile?
A mile and a half away, yeah.
Speedway?
Feet from here.
Feet, exactly.
Yeah.
And he'll be on the radio saying, all right, boys, if you want to race, just be smart. bring it home. P3 and P4 will be solid. Two really good young drivers for this team as well, which I think is amazing. When you're a team owner, you can get young kids like that, 16 years of age, at this level and train them this year. They're immediate championship contenders next year.
Keep them right in the groove.
So,
And well, the lead went from a second back to 0.8 of a second. So back and forth it goes. Rasmussen trying to close that gap to Eves. And Golden Simpson, that battle continues to shape up here as we have 8 laps to go.
I'm looking, of course, at the gap between your best time and the time they're running. You know, Braden Eves has been pretty consistent within usually 3 to 4 tenths of a second. Rasmussen more of a bigger window, anywhere between, you know, got down to a 1:21.7, 8th, a very fast lap. But a couple laps ago did a 1:22.4, so really 7/10 of a second. It's just a different spectrum in terms of the consistency of lap times. Eves kind of knocking out those 2s, 3s, and 4s right now.
Now Rasmussen beginning to slip back, and Gold has a good run on him for second place as they go down to turn 1.
All right. There we go.
Yeah, around the outside. Try the over-under.
Got him.
Now Rasmussen's still holding the spot, I think. Gold tried it, not quite.
He was trying to get that outside through turn 1 to have the inside through turn 2. And it just didn't work out, wasn't able to stay alongside under braking.
Or the outside to try to get that guy to potentially overbrake it, right? I've got you, I'm coming. You're going to go deeper into the corner.
Yeah.
And then once he goes deeper, he's got to get off the throttle to get the wheel turned into it. That's when you do the over-under. All of this, though, allowing Braden Eves to pull out to a 1.3 second battle. I think we're going to have a fight for the final 2 spots on the podium. Rasmussen running second right now. Then you've got Reese Gold in that 3rd spot. But, man, Kiffin Simpson coming back up as well.
Keeps charging, doesn't he? We've got 7 to go, 6 at the line. And as you mentioned, that battle for second,
Caution.
3rd, 4th. What do we got?
Caution on the racetrack. Looks like potentially, is that the number 77? Not sure what's happened right now, but the caution is on the racetrack here.
Yellow flag is
Looks
out
like
on track.
I think Anam Ahmed potentially right on the front straightaway. Coming onto the front straight over turn number 14, I believe he's pulled the car
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
to the inside of the racetrack. It's really hard to see on the shot coming down the front straightaway, but I think just inside there.
Sounds like we got a stalled car on track.
Right
Yeah,
here,
there you
down
go.
by the pylon.
Yep.
That's a stalled car of Anam Ahmed, who was running so strongly in the 5th position. Would have been his best finish of the year for RP Motorsports, but that car has had an issue, and he has worked his way now into the inside of the racetrack. So yellow flag coming out here.
Erases that advantage that Eves had built up, and as the laps wind down toward the final 5 to go, sets up an interesting restart and a little sprint to the finish.
Well, you guys,
come on.
Yeah,
We want
you guys know it.
Shoot out here.
This track is tough on a restart because as you come to get the green, it's such a long run down into turn number 1. Everybody else behind you gets an opportunity to potentially overtake. So yeah, 25 laps down. This isn't going to be a big cleanup either. They're just going to be able to, unless there's damage to the engine where he's potentially leaking some fluid. I thought they'll be able to just get him.
That's what I was
track.
just wondering about. Yeah. Did he lay down some oil as he came through that turn down there? We're about to find out. Sweepers not out just yet. Don't see the oil dry out and about yet. So maybe we're going to be okay here. Here comes the wrecker. Going to get that thing lifted and off track. But what disappointment for that young driver and team.
As we run here on the yellow with 19 laps in the books, Braden Eves, the leader, Christian Rasmussen in 2nd, Reese Gold in 3rd, Kiffin Simpson running in 4th, and James Rowe Jr., the Irishman, now will move his way up into the 5th spot. Started 12th into the top 5 for James Rowe. Obviously, a little bit of attrition here with some incidents we've had on the racetrack, but Rowe staying out of trouble for Turn 3 Motorsports. His team owner, Peter Dempsey, of course, who won that amazing 4-wide Freedom 100 finish. So Peter's got he's got a little bit of history here at the Speedway.
And the driver's out of the car and okay, by the way, 77. So that's good news. No issues with the driver.
Outside the top 5, Artem Petrov now running in 6th, Manuel Suleiman in 7th. Colin Kaminsky 8th, Jacob Abel 9th. Lap down is Hunter McElroy in 10th. Couple laps down for Ahmed. Now it'll be done here at lap number 19. Wyatt Prokachik and Jack William Miller will gain a couple spots to probably be able to get by Ahmed. But this will be interesting. Once they get this car out here, this is going to be a short finish here to see what happens. And again, we talked about it, Alan, about champions. How they're able to manage a lead, maintain that gap, take care of the tires. Champions also manage restarts very well.
And I don't care how many times you've done it, when the opportunity to get a trophy at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is dangling in front of you.
Oh, baby.
Keeping the nerves calm and the breathing proper. I mean, it's got to be tough for these guys.
Well, luckily for Braden Eves, he's done it before. He was able to sweep the weekend in 2019 here to win the races and be able to stand on top of the podium at IMS. So that's one thing. He's got that before.
He does.
But I'll tell you, that does not dampen his competitive spirit at all. This is the guy that wants to win every time he's onto the racetrack.
Who are you taking here, Mr. Road to Indy?
I'd be hard pressed to not pick Braden Eves up front. I just think he's that good. But Christian Rasmussen is exactly the same. Like they're cut from similar cloths in terms of being just those kind of guys that are all attack, trying to go for race wins. And you look at the way the points run right now. Braden Eves would come out of the day here with a 10-point lead over Rasmussen, first and second in the points as well. We'll see whether or not Rasmussen is okay with that or not.
I'll tell you who I pick. The one that comes out of turn 7 with the lead after the restart.
All right.
Getting through turn 1 and turn 7, that'll be the interesting part.
That's a low-risk guess, though.
That's like something I would say.
That's
low risk.
Taking care of the house money.
That's it.
Exactly right. Well, here comes the car on the wrecker being taken away by the tower. So we're watching now as the field is on the backstretch. And at the line, guys, we'll have 4 to go next time by. So let's see how close we can get to a restart here.
Yeah, they'll open up the gates and bring that car right in as soon as they come through turn number 1. So, yeah, I would expect we'll go back to green this time by. We'll have a look to see whether or not that indeed happens. If it is, we'll have one more lap and then take it with 3 to go.
Love it.
Big run down to 1. This is going to be exciting for sure.
Love it. Yeah, I love when you get a restart this late in a race.
Cleanup crew is gone. The car is behind the wall, so just waiting.
That's good news.
See if we're going to see
race control telling us we're going to go green this time. All right, going back to green. So they're over in turn 10, setting up for 11. Anxious moments for Eves and Rasmussen up front. Gold third. Who's going to grab it here? 4 to go at the line.
Braden Eves, more experience, of course, here in the road to Indy than Christian Rasmussen. Both drivers, though, with the USF 2000 championships on the resume. This will be all about Braden Eves getting ready to punch off. He will lead them to the line, and it'll be his decision to punch. He'll come out at 13. He's going to go early. I think Eves already on the throttle. Not a bad start.
So, doesn't it? Yeah, he is already on the throttle. Here's the green flag waving. The restart with 4 to go.
Here comes from second place, Rasmussen in the slipstream, looking for a way to get through as they go down to turn 1 and begin to hit the brakes.
Eves on the inside, Rasmussen on the outside, coming across. Eves will defend to the inside. Good run, a little bit wide on the exit. Looks like Rasmussen trying to go back around the outside at turn number 2. Doesn't usually work coming through the corner. Indeed, Braden Eves the leader. Woo! Look at Rasmussen trying around the outside at turn number 4.
Side-by-side racing.
Rasmussen will get another chance through the switchback down to turn number 7. The big run down home, and he'll stay to the bottom of the track. He's going to slowly start to work his way to driver's right. Look at the inside. Here comes Reese Gold thinking about the lead. Rasmussen around the outside. Book it. New leader, Christian Rasmussen.
How about that?
Through turn 7.
How about that? What a move in turn 7. Alan, you called that one.
That's Alan's call here.
With the lead, and now coming to 3 laps to go. And for Braden Eves, you've had that clean air in front of that car for so much of this race. Now the pressure's on. Find a way to get back around.
The beauty of the clean air is that you can take care of the front tires. When you're in that aero wash, the car has a lot of understeer into the corners. You abuse the front tires a little bit. This will be Braden Eves' opportunity to try to go back by. He'll set them up. They're working their way down the front straightaway here. He needs that draft. He's actually got some pretty good cushion behind as well to the 55 of Reese Gold, who's got Kiffin Simpson coming. His teammate ready to go by in turn number 1.
Good battle.
What a
great
knot
battle.
for 5th place also.
They're side by side there for 3rd and 4th.
Braden Eves to within about 3 car lengths. And yeah, the battle behind 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th was pretty aggressive there as well.
This is fun. 3 laps to go. This is quite fun watching these youngsters get after it on a Friday afternoon at Indy.
Oh, a little contact back there in the pack.
Late race restarts so tough on the guys up front, as I said. When you're the leader, you're sitting duck going down into 1, a sitting duck going down into turn number 7, and a big outside move. Big defense further back as well.
Yeah.
That's James Rowe going at it there with Manuel Suleiman, I believe. Not going to like that. That was the battle for sixth position.
That was a defensive move, wasn't it?
Couple of jinks to the inside. Race control, I'm sure we'll have a look at that. But Christian Rasmussen in the Jay Howard driver development car taking advantage of that lead and is pulling away a bit here. Braden Eves needs to be within about 4 or 5 car lengths, maybe even less than that, coming out of turn number 13 and 14. Pretty good run through that corner for both those drivers. I think Eves looks pretty close here now.
All right, so turn 1 should be very interesting.
Yeah, he's got to pounce, doesn't he? 2 to go at the line. 2 laps left. Here we go.
And what a great run off that last corner, though, for Rasmussen.
Indeed. Yeah, able to get a really good run and pull down the straightaway. It was at least 4 or 5 car lengths as they followed us down here. And look at how close Eves is this time. And a different entry to make sure you're able to get that air over the wing. There's the fight again still. James Rowe going at it with Manuel Suleiman. That battle is continuing. That's for 8th now as Jacob Abel's been able to get by. Artem Petrov to P5 as well.
All right, so here they come onto the infield straightaway. Eves is there. Can he get hooked up in the slipstream? And don't try this at home. And make the move here to turn 7.
He's right with them coming into 7. You see how close they are. Reese Gold not that far back either. And indeed, good battle. Braden Eves led a majority of the race before that yellow came out for Anam Ahmed. Stuck on the front straightaway. Doing everything he can right now to give himself an opportunity to take that pass down into 1 or 7. Pretty good run through the tight stuff. 7, 8, 9. Really nice run there for Rasmussen to be able to get a good gap coming out of turn number 10.
He was very smooth. 0.3 of a second was the lead last time by. White flag about to fly at Indy.
Let's see what Eves has this time by. Coming out of 14. He'll need that good run down the straightaway. I don't think he's close enough to do it here. I think even a bit further back. Reese Gold trying to use the draft as well. Into 1 for the final time. Indy Pro 2000, the first of 3 races here at IMS this weekend. Christian Rasmussen, the Dane, leading the way. Scored the win at St. Petersburg. Trying to back it up with another victory here to start off the triple header weekend. Braden Eves trying to get close. I don't think he's there right now. Look at a good, solid last couple laps. Not too bad coming out of the corner there. Will Rasmussen go to the bottom of the track? He is going to stay to the bottom. Here comes Braden Eves. Eves wants the retribution from last year. Does he try the dive bomb? He looks to the inside, not close enough. Rasmussen still holding on. Not much chance for a pass from here on in, Alan, except maybe turn 12.
Yeah, there was a balance between desire and reality there for Braden Eves heading into turn number 7.
He gave it a thought and said, "No, I need to hang on to this podium here."
I got to write that one down. That was solid.
Final few corners for Christian Rasmussen to get a win at Indianapolis. Here he comes to turn number 12.
And look at this. If indeed he gets the victory, it's a battle here. No, there's Eves looking to the inside, coming through 13, side by side. Over to 14. Eves tried it through the inside of 13. It'll be the drag race to the line. Out of the final corner. Eves threw it at him. He'll try to go side by side to the line. Not enough. Christian Rasmussen with the race win.
What a fantastic battle between Eves and Rasmussen on those final couple of turns. And you mentioned that Eves really making a push there. Tried to go low, tried to go high, and Rasmussen hanging on. And the celebration is underway along pit lane. What a great show.
Yeah, Jay Howard and the crew is pretty happy.
He drove that thing in to turn 12 to have a shot. That talk about reality and hope. Or desire? Well, desire was there, and he drove it in.
They started to blend a bit there, didn't they? Coming out of 12, and they looked to the inside of 13. We'll have a look at this finish through 12, 13, and 14. Braden Eves was aggressive. He was thinking, there's the coming across the line, how close it was. And I'll tell you what else is close, the championship. They are now tied for the championship. Wow. Braden Eves and Christian Rasmussen with that finish are tied with 124 points, 26 ahead of Hunter McElroy, and a top 5 finish for Artem Petrov, back by just 28. Yeah, Jay Howard and the crew pretty happy.
Go, Jay. Yeah, congratulations to Jay Howard and crew.
There's also Steve Knapp, the guy who built all of our engines, and indeed the 1998 Indy 500 Rookie of the Year as well.
Yes, that's right.
So I'll tell you, that a tremendous run. And for Christian Rasmussen, this kid is putting it down. He was the dominant driver in USF 2000 last year. a much tougher field here in Indy Pro in 2021, but man, we got some good battling going on. Rasmussen with the win. Braden Eves in second. They're now tied in points at 124. Reese Gold finishing in the third spot. Kiffin Simpson fourth. Artem Petrov fifth. Jacob Abel able to come up to sixth. And I was told race control, I believe, a penalty to Manuel Suleiman for blocking. We watched the battle between he and James Rowe, so Suleiman getting a penalty. But I'll tell you, if it not been for that yellow flag out, I think Braden Eves would have been able to run away with it, but Christian Rasmussen taking full advantage.
How many times in this sport a yellow flag changes everything? And for Braden Eves, that one yellow flag in the entire race changed the whole picture of his day.
That's exactly it. But again, still a solid finish on the podium. He's one of those guys who's just not going to be happy at all not winning the race. But the bottom line is, when you're on the podium at Indianapolis, you're getting the points. When you win a championship at the end of the season, you look back and you go, it's those top threes and top fives that actually gave me the title.
And he's climbing out of the car, pumping his fists. Congratulations, great race. Celebration up on the victory podium is moments away as he is greeted down there by the media. Lots of media here covering this. Katie Kyle standing by. We'll be talking to her. Rob Howden, nice job. He's headed down now to work at Victory Lane. Let's go down to Katie Kyle. Hi, Katie. What you got down there?
I have our winner from Indy Pro 2000, Christian Rasmussen, and certainly it was a great battle coming to the line as he celebrates with Jay Howard. Christian, that was a great battle coming to the line with Braden Eves. Were you a little bit nervous that he was going to overtake you right at the line?
Yeah, he definitely seemed like he had good pace. I think I got a little bit lucky with the full course caution. So it just bunched everybody up, took advantage of that, and yeah, he got a little bit close at the end, but I knew he wasn't going to get by. So good race for me, started P3, won the race, and yeah, just very, very, very happy.
Speaking of that yellow, how did you game plan during those laps to overtake him on the restart?
Yeah, it's all about setting up for it. The tracks we've gone to so far, it's been very, very hard to pass. And here we have long straights and great passing opportunities. So I knew it was possible towards the end and make a pass, and I just waited for the right moment, got a good run out of 4 down the back straight, and got him into 7. So yeah, very, very happy with the race, and now we're ready for 2 more tomorrow.
We'll see you there. Congratulations.